Okay, let's call this meeting of the Huntingburg Common Council to order. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Father God, thank you for all those that are here this evening, those that have served the city so well. We ask that you continue to guide us as we make decisions today, that decisions may be here to benefit all, for all the citizens of Huntingburg. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
So we have a motion to approve the minutes.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You had a chance to look at the claims. Do I hear a motion to accept?
Make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. I have nothing to add to the meeting tonight. Police Chief Kramer is here tonight asking for approval of a reserve officer.
That's correct. Good evening.
Should have his
Good evening, sir.
information.
Yeah, so the individual that we're wanting to kind of put on as a reserve now, he's still in the military. He's currently serving as a crew chief in the United States Marine Corps. We're hopeful that he will get out and be able to start helping here somewhere in January timeframe, unless we can work through a program to get him out a little bit sooner. He is through our process whenever this last process that we had for our full-time guys. He's expressed his interest in the law enforcement, and that's kind of, he's looking for a community to kind of settle down in and call home, basically. And he's one that I don't want to miss on that aspect. But yeah, other than that, I know he's intending on moving back to this area as soon as he gets out. He's in the process of doing that, moving his wife back here later next month. So, and then once we get that, if you guys approve him, he'll bring us up to 9 reserve officers. So,
That'd be great.
any questions on him?
Looks like he had good credentials is all I can say.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I was asked several times by other Marines and other military members, why is he sitting in your office? Because the sky is the limit for this individual. And I can't answer that. I don't know, but I want him. So, I want him to help us.
That'd be great.
So we need a motion to accept that or approve that or what?
Yeah, we'll need that motion in a second, and we'll still present this to the
Correct.
Board of Public Works and Safety at their next meeting.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Chief.
The only other thing that I got, just more of an informational thing, is the National Coffee with the Cop is on Wednesday next week, 8 a.m. We're hosting it, or the Huntingburg Coffee and Grind Company's going to host us down there again. So if you know anybody,
Tell me, say it one more time, the name of the,
Coffee.
repeat what you just said.
Coffee with Cop,
Coffee with Cox.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And what day is that, on Thursday?
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
October 2nd, down at the Huntingburg Grind,
For a time or is it
8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
just 8 to 10?
Yep.
Okay.
So if you know anybody, or if anybody has questions in your areas, send them down.
Okay.
What, does that, it's just where you can kind of like social, or meet?
If they have questions, concerns, and anywhere in the city that may or may not even be a law enforcement matter, we'll talk to them. Last time we didn't have very many people, but we had great discussion with a couple individuals there that, brought up some issues and problems, and it was I think we had 2 or 3 people show up, but it was awesome. So, because one of them was Rosina with Alasi, and we're trying to bridge that gap anyway, with the Hispanic and Latino community. So we're just trying to figure out how we can serve them better as well. So,
Is it a monthly thing that you do then, or?
no, I'm kind of pushing more towards like a quarterly or every 6 months, maybe do one. We did one a couple months ago there, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
Just the time to mingle with the
Yep.
staff.
yeah.
Is that advertised anywhere, Facebook page or utility bills or?
I don't know if it's in the utility bills. We'll push it out on our social media. Last time I pushed it out about 2 weeks ahead of time, and I think people might have forgotten about it. So we're trying to wait a little bit closer to time, just so it stays a little bit fresher. So I don't know the tactics on that aspect, but we're going to test them and see what we get. So
Calendar invite.
any questions? Thank
you.
you, guys.
Okay, we have Energy Superintendent John Rugpole.
Council,
John?
start with the gas department. Added another 4 services this month. There's 3 at Hunter's Crossing and 1 over in the Ireland area. We got 5 applications on file. And the crews did replace 38 meters this month with the new gas census meters. Then Kim and Greg had 2 days of audits with the IERC auditors. There's 3 of them come down. They went over the O&M manual. There's just a few paper corrections we need to correct, just some areas of concern. Then they let us know about the new mandate coming down, where anytime we go out and do a job, we got to let the IERC auditors know, being go out, put a new house service in, extend a main. So we got the emails of 3 of them. So anytime we go out, we're just going to email them 3. Say, hey, we're going to go out and put a new house service in. That way, in case they're in the area, they can stop by, check our work out, and correct us if we're doing anything not to code, which I don't suspect that's going to happen. But they said they just got to be notified. They may show up, they may not. So that's coming down the pipe. Then the crew's been working on several yard repairs that we've been doing in the summertime when the ground was dry, and so it's told we'd be back in the fall to fix the yards where we dug it up to replace some gas mains, gas services. Say they finished up last week, which turned out to be good when we got some rain. So that's all taken care of. Anything, questions on the gas? I think it's going pretty good. Electric side, put 3 new services in at Hunter's Crossing. We had Jared Paulin and Trevor Hunefeld. They spent a whole week at Greenfield doing underground primary training. That's part of their 4-year schooling, which both of them did real good. They enjoyed it. They learned a lot, so which is good. Then we got with the water department's crew. We spent a whole week on trees out by the overflow dam. The trees are, some of them dead. Some of them are hollow. They looked green yet, but they're hollow inside. And there are several trees that were right along our power lines that we've had trouble with before. So we got them all down. I think it worked pretty good. I think Jerry's gonna plant some new trees to replace the ones we did cut down. So that worked out real good. And we did set 6 poles this month, 4 on South Cherry, 2 on Huff Street. As you can see in the pictures, some of the old poles were short. They really needed updated. So we replaced that, and you can see the one, how leaning over it is, which was in need. So we got that all done. And then we did run primary electric to the shooting range for the police department. We totaled about 2,500 feet. So we got that all trenched in, everything terminated. It's all done and live. Then we did drop 3 trees for the park department before the Herbst Fest started, because there are some dead, a couple dead limbs. So we got that taken care of. Any questions on the electric? That should do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, so.
So I have Water Superintendent Jerry Austin.
Hello, Jerry.
Good afternoon. We'll jump into distribution. Kind of talked about that we were in the process of doing it last meeting. We did relocate service lines on the east 400 block of First Street to decommission a water main. That's that water main that we've got a 6 and an 8 inch in there. The 6 inch is quite a bit older than the 8 inch as far as a year. I couldn't start to tell you. But we've got all those service lines. We not only moved them, but we replaced them in entirety. So all new service lines through there. I know there's talks at potentially paving that section of First Street with the wastewater project. So we wanted to make sure we got all the old copper out of there and got the new poly service lines pulled in, so there's no issues down the road. After we replaced those, we did work with the street department to blacktop the holes that we did dig in the road there. And then as John stated, we worked with the electric department for about 3 to 4 days to remove quite a few dead trees. He really helped us out there. As he spoke in the past, every time we seem to have a storm, the power lines get taken down. It's a very wet area, so in order to get a truck in there, you've almost got to pull it back out. I'm sure you can contest to that. So, you know, we did take down quite a few trees. We do have a company coming in to grind the stumps on those trees to get all that cleaned up and plant grass seed to make it look nice again. There's a few other trees there that are dead that we do plan to take down that do set further away from the power lines. And once we do take those down, we probably will plant a few new trees to replace some of them that we took down on the other side of the spillway away from the electric lines. So other than that, we did have another service line fail at the Jago subdivision on Stellar Way. We kind of found the same thing there that we've found in the past. It's the copper's being eroded from the outside in. Luckily with this one, we were able to pull that service line, so we didn't have to dig across the road. Unfortunately out there, our water mains are underneath sidewalks and driveways, so we did have to remove half of a driveway. But we did get that poured back for that homeowner, and she was tickled pink that it was done in such a quick manner. So we've also been out trimming trees at our south water tower. We've got quite a few trees that have overgrown and makes it difficult to mow. So been doing tree trimming at the water towers and around the lake, around the walking trail that we do have. Unfortunately, with those service lines that we relocated on the 400 block of First Street, we're holding off to decommission that main until after the Herbst Fest. We've got 2 sets of maps, and both sets of maps show something completely different. So when we get into the intersection of Jackson and First, we're not really sure what we're going to find and how big the hole is going to end up being. So we were trying to hold off till after the Herbst Fest, and lo and behold, on the 11th at about 9:30 at night, we had a water main break on that 6-inch water main we were wanting to do away with. So the guys jumped in there and got that taken care of. Unfortunately, that water main doesn't have valves that we can shut it down, or we would shut it down until we can get there to pull the valves out and decommission it like it should be. And then we did have a service line leak at 208 North Geiger as well. That one there, that was a old service. It was a lead service, and where the lead meets, they mold the lead to the copper before it goes into the curb stop, and where the lead met the copper was leaking. So on that one, we were able to pull a new service line there. We did replace all the fittings. Back when they used to install lead service lines, all the corporation stops and the curb stops and everything, they were brass, but they could contain lead. So anytime we come across the lead line, we replace all the fittings and everything to make sure there's no lead left. And then we did start our fall fire hydrant flushing this year in the fall. We do not turn valves. We turn valves once a year in the spring. And then in the fall, we take all of our static and residual pressures off our fire hydrants. Plays a big role in our ISO audits. What determines whether a fire hydrant is green or orange, and that lets the fire department know when they come out and hook up the hydrant what kind of water they're going to see off that hydrant as far as flow. So extremely important to not only our infrastructure and our water to get the water mains cleaned out and stuff, but for the fire department for house fires and things like that. Other than that, we did this past week, it's not on here. Of course, this was turned in before that, but we did on our 16-inch transmission main that runs from Ferdinand, from our Phase 1 Patoka pit that we purchased wholesale water from. We did have 2 water main breaks on First Street. The first one that we came upon was 16 feet deep in the ground. We had to rent a large excavator in order to do that work. Ours wouldn't, we couldn't even, we got down to the original road bed out there on First Street just past the railroad tracks. But so we got that one taken care of and buttoned up, and just as we thought we were going to get to leave, we went to turn valves on, and there was another one about a quarter mile west of that on First Street. Wow. So the guys have been extremely busy, and they've been doing a great job at keeping things going, and their times of getting these water main breaks are amazing. I mean, it used to take us hours to do that stuff, and with the tools and the manpower we have now, we can usually take care of one in 3 hours. We wait 2 hours for a locate, and we can usually wrap one up in an hour. So other than that, the filter plant, I spoke in the past about some things with our drying beds out there where we have to send our lake sludge to dry. When the plant was added onto in 2019, the drying beds were installed then. All the drainage for that was plumbed to wastewater. So anytime it rains, any water those drying beds catch end up being sent to wastewater. So we got with IDEM, we were able to rewrite our permit with them, and by installing these valves and these bypasses, anytime we do not have sludge in them, we can send that water to the ditch safely because it is just water at that point. There's no possibilities having any residual chemical in there. So we were finally got all the material in to take care of that, and that is done. Other than that, our metering system, we're still waiting on the last of our large diameter meters to round out this census meter change out. And we're still notifying customers whenever we get notified of their leak alarms and things like that. So it's seemed to help a lot here lately. We've had a lot of customers that's had leaks underground between their house and the meter that they had no clue they had. They assumed it was a small toilet leak, and they just chalked it up to that and continued to pay their little more higher than normal bill. And we were able to step in and give them a hand and help them correct that issue. So it's great. But that's all I have.
Hey, on that failed line up there that you found lead in, was that on the list to be?
It is. We did know it was lead.
You already knew?
We knew it was lead, and that's during our inventory. We were trying to make sure we knew every lead line that we had. So we were taking our inventory first, and once our inventory is done, we'll circle back and take care of those lines.
Yeah.
We have 12 in the community that we're going to have to go back and replace that we know is lead. So we were aware of that, and it could have potentially been, we pothole, when we're doing our pothole for our lead and copper, IDEM's rule right now is there's a thing called a lead gooseneck. So the part that comes out of the main, it's humped over, and they call that a gooseneck.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of communities did that and then converted to copper. So they're allowing that lead gooseneck to stay for now. Eventually that's going to come to where that's not going to be allowed to be in there either.
Sure.
So
We're not, are we?
right, no. So that's what we're doing with our potholing. We're potholing a hole directly beside the water main. That way we can see the full picture of the water main and what is out from it. We've got a 14-inch core drill hole, so we're being able to see a 14-inch space there. And really, I would assume what caused that leak. It didn't happen when we did it, but loosening up all that soil around that fitting and then packing sand back in there over time is what caused that service line to leak.
Well,
if I had to take a guess. But yeah, no, we're trying to, well, the rule is here and we're trying to be up here. We don't want to come back in 5 years and have to go put more holes in the roads to
No,
redo it all over again. So,
very good.
but, yep.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Jerry. City Attorney Phil Schneider? I have nothing. Clerk Treasurer Thomas Stipple?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I think.
I just have one quick item, just to let you know, a lot of things will be happening after Herbst Fest with streets. Coming up here, we've got, social media last week, we put a map and a kind of colorized map of when street closings will occur and happen. The county is replacing the bridge deck at Cherry Street at First. They'll be doing it immediately after the Herbst Fest. So that'll be shut down for a few days as they do that. We are able to get people to the Lynn Yard, but they'll be routed over to First Avenue, over to Cherry and around. So you will be able to get through the intersection, but you won't be able to get through the intersection from First Street. You'll have to go down First Avenue to Cherry to get through there, so. And that'll be up to the contractors in the county, and we're working with them to be able to get the right signs up for the detours to route people as we go.
Yep.
Very good. You'll see a lot of closings and construction happening right now. All right. Any other council items?
Did we get any bids for the van? Oh, yes. The van. There was one bid for $400.
Oh.
But there was also the possibility of another.
So are we gonna reject that bid and do it again?
I don't know, we'll bring that, I guess somebody will bring that to you.
Okay.
There is another group that's looking at it, so.
Okay.
It's pretty reasonable.
The other one probably maybe 2 or 3 times that amount, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's more than, but if we can put it to good use for someone,
Yeah, that's right.
that's kind of it. Any announcement about the Herbst Fest?
Well, yeah, Herbst Fest this week, so hopefully everybody knows that. Mallory Tooley is the queen, was crowned on Sunday, and Herbst Fest, we just hope it doesn't get washed away, but there will be plenty of things to do, even if it rains. Good.
Oh, yeah.
So always be there. The tents will be there, music will still be there, so you may get a little damp, but it's not, hopefully it won't rain the entire time. We have a grand marshal above. That's just an amazing individual. That's also a council member. So Congratulations. We'll keep an eye out for you at the parade.
Thank you.
We have, we did, all of our departments did, police, street, Parks Department met today with their committee down at the park, discussed parade routes and everything we need to do. Mr. Rudepoler was there too, talking about lighting and other things that we might need, an electrical connection. So hopefully, I think everything's ready to go. Their committee's done a great job of preparing for it, and we've supplied some assistance, but not a whole lot. You know, they didn't need a whole lot there. They've got it down pretty good, so.
Good deal.
And our police department will have a booth there this year too. All right. Any other citizens' items? Malia is at has a funeral that she'll be at this evening. Normally she's here for the Mayor's Youth Council, so she's not able to make it. But she'll be able to report back next month. Or next meeting, actually. Any other items? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'm gonna drag this out because Jeff wants to leave.
Stop it.
Right now. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
So we got first and a second.
All in favor?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
What's the word to it, Jeff?